Hi there and welcome to another CodeZong video. We are about to look at Xevious. Let's go ahead and start this game and see what it's like. Now you're looking at this on the NES, but that's actually not going to be our focus for today. I just wanted to show you what most people saw when they think of Xevious at home. This is the one on the NES, and it's pretty reminiscent of the arcade shooter. That was fun and popular back in the day. But what we're going to actually look at today is the same game on both the Atari 7800 and on the Atari 5200. Of course, the Atari 5200 was not a widely known release because it wasn't released at all. It was a prototype, so let's go ahead and take a look at both of those games and compare. Alright, you're looking at the demo screen for Xevious on the Atari 7800. Of course, if you were playing this on an Atari console, then this is the one that you remember. I'll go ahead and start it. You can see just by looking at the demo screen that the graphics are slightly different than what you're used to on the NES, but the sounds are pretty close. Let's go ahead and see if we can start this game. There we go. And we are off. So having just listened to the NES, you can probably tell that the sounds are pretty close. That repetitive music. It feels slightly more difficult. That's the one thing I do notice. Oops. Button's not responsive. There we go. Obviously the graphics are not quite the same. They make use of some artifacts here in the color. I actually kind of feel like it's a little bit harder. Like when you pass one of these guys on the ground, for example, they keep shooting when they're behind you, which I don't remember being the case on the NES. And then, you know, these guys kind of, they fly out into the middle of the screen. Oh, this guy's hardcore. Having some difficulty with my buttons. The things that you come to expect, though, are there, so they're definitely following the Xevious pattern, which is good. That guy's hard to hit. Ooh, he got me. But you get an idea of the graphics here, and what I wanted to do is compare with the Atari 5200. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one right now. Alright, here is the start screen on the Atari 5200. Not super awesome. Hopefully the game is a little bit better than this. Let's go ahead and start playing. So, pretty different, graphically speaking anyway, but the idea is still here. So the interesting thing about this one is that it was never released for the Atari 5200, but it was developed, and it was developed to completion. This is a fully working game. Ooh, and it's kind of hard. They're shooting at me. They see I'm here. They're not having any of it. Whoa. It's I died, of course, but it feels a little bit sluggish. And obviously you can see the graphics are a bit different. The heads-up display, or the scoreboard, if you will, on the bottom of the screen. But you've got, you've got your primary fire, which you're seeing here. You've got your secondary fire, which is the bomb. You got to line up your target with your crosshair there, and then fire off that bomb. Give it a shot. Missed. Having difficulty. There we go. So it feels a little bit different, and I think that the fact that it feels so differently and the controls aren't quite what they are on the 7800 and the NES, it kind of makes it feel a little bit more difficult. They're pretty aggressive, too. They're shooting at me. They're trying to get me. Oh, look at these guys. Fast. Good lord. Quite a bit about the look and feel is different. Obviously, your ship is different. The way that your fire looks is different. You know, the colors make it really sort of difficult to see. I remember this part in the arcade and the NES. Like, these things are completely indestructible. And that's the same thing here. And of course, these are 8-bit, old school 8-bit graphics, right? I mean, this is the Atari 5200, so the memory availability is smaller. Whoa, nailed me. Those guys are quick. So those, those little indestructible floating jobs, they actually look pretty good. The backgrounds that they've got here make it somewhat difficult to see. Makes it a little bit tough. Man, and they are super fast when they shoot, and they shoot at you after they've passed you, which is a little bit different. Adds to the difficulty. This guy's tough. Look at him, jeez. But this is one of the ones that actually fell victim to the video game crash in 1983. This is a fully completed prototype. All it lacked, really, was a little bit of polish, probably, and, you know, some packaging and some sort of a marketing plan for release. It just never happened. This is one of those deals where the game was done and they said, well, what are we going to make from this game? Why bother? So they didn't release it. But this is it. You're looking at Xevious on the Atari 5200. Obviously pretty different graphics than what we're used to seeing on the 7800. Man, this game's tough. But there it is. So a lot of you probably played this one on the NES. I know that's where I played it a lot. I didn't own the game, but I used to rent it. It was one of those ones that was reminiscent of the arcade days for me, so I used to play it, you know, whenever I had a chance. But you're looking at it here on the Atari 5200 as a finished prototype that was never released. It's available for download. If you go to AtariProtos.com, you can give it a shot. Otherwise, you can check out the same game on the Atari 7800, which you saw previously. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one.